Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Laventhal, Style and Beauty Director for People Magazine, and never in a million years did I think I'd be interviewing some of the industry's top talent from my dining room. But it's 2020, weirder things have happened, and I'm here with some of my favorite professionals to talk about the future of the red carpet and its enduring glamour. I want to introduce my panelists today. We have stylist Jessica Pastor, rocking a really cool high pony. Shout out to Jessica. We have makeup artist Quinn Murphy, who is coming to us from Manhattan. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
We have hairstylist Rebecca Forecast, whose hair looks so good. I'm like, did you?
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Stylist Jean Yang with the most beautiful bold red or pink lip. We will have to talk about that.
Hello, everyone.
So we were having already a hot panel before we even went live, and I kept saying, save it for the panel. But I feel like we should skip over some of the niceties about, how we're all adapting, what we miss about the red carpet, and talk about how are you guys working right now? What does it look like to you? How are you styling your clients, whether your hair, makeup, what do you do? Dressing them virtually. Let's go around, and then we're going to get right into the future. Jessica, let's start with you.
I am so grateful and happy. I've been working through this whole thing. I stopped working March 13th. Literally, we were about to jump. Hey, we were supposed to jump. You're supposed to jump on a plane to start our Quiet Place press junket. And literally, by the time we went upstairs, we were putting our suitcases in the car. Everything had canceled March 13th. We just stopped everything, and it was a domino effect. All of Friday canceled, Saturday canceled, Monday canceled, and then it went all quiet because we were on lockdown. And then I personally, because our very wonderful, nice government wasn't going to give me one penny. I still am waiting for that $1,200 stimulus check, which I'm sure I'll never get.
I think we all are.
Huh?
I think we all are.
I know. Look, let's hold our breath. And so I started getting creative and doing clients' closets when they weren't at home or they were wherever they decided to, do their thing. But now it got really busy. It's so busy. I mean, we're being very mindful with masks and stuff, but it's busy. It's full on. And I'm doing a lot of Zoom press junkets for clients.
Thing. And I want to hear from everybody after we give just a little picture of where you're at, what you're up to, of the unique challenges and how it's forced you to become more creative. Jean, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to and how you're kind of working right now?
So I've enjoyed, and I'm gotta say I'm really grateful because I had that break, because Jess, you and I know it's been nonstop. And to have it slow down a little bit, I mean, it definitely slowed down to a total stop, but basically I've had a lot of socially distant photo shoots, mainly outside. I shot with Jason Momoa twice outside, out in a desert-like environment, out in an open air house. And I've done a lot of remote press junkets. It's been honestly nice to have things where you're a little bit slowed down. The one thing that's hard is it seems like whenever you're called in, 5 people call you in on the same day. So it's, either feast or famine. It was, pretty nuts last year, starting of the award season, and it's a little bit more drawn out, and it's nice to actually get to do things one at a time and have a chance to take a breather. But I'm still working. Still doing stuff. Good. Just covered in PPE, or is it exactly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with PPE.
What's PPE? All that stuff?
All the protective gear, gloves, when you're touching somebody, you're wearing a shield, you're wearing the mask, and having the clothes delivered a few days before so they can sit in the office.
And spray them with our COVID everything.
Interesting. So now it's completely different for hair and makeup. Quinn, talk to us a little bit about what you've been up to with makeup, because you obviously can't do that virtually.
Yeah, just to be perfectly honest, it's been really dead in New York.
Mhm.
You know, I think in LA, for whatever reason, they've been working more. From what I talked to my agent, I'm like, are people working in New York? And I'm not. It's really dead in New York. My last job was also on March 13th. I've had probably 5 jobs since then. I've never not had. I mean, I had an amazing first quarter, award season, whatever, and then it just died.
Right.
So I've done some editorials. I feel like celebrities they're doing Zoom or not doing press. So the jobs I've had are mostly like editorials in the Hamptons or something like that. But it's a total touch and feel. What's your comfort level? Show up to a job with the mask, the shield, spray everything. Everything looks brand new. Actually, I'm fortunate enough that I get sent makeup all the time. I have it in the boxes so that people feel comfortable. And as the day goes on, you kind of, figure out where you're going to land. But it's unprecedented and it's weird.
Yeah, that's a great word. It's weird.
Yeah.
Rebecca, what about you?
Well, I think I'm in New York as well. So I've been experiencing sort of similar things to Quinn, actually, which has been, this is a whole another avenue to go down. But I feel like for us, because we are normally so crazy busy, traveling so much, and just it's nonstop. And then suddenly, yes, it was just like, okay, now what happens? And at the beginning, it was sort of like, oh, this is a pause. Let's all have a pause. So, we got through that. And luckily, everybody that I know is healthy. So, just obviously so grateful for that. But now we're seeing it's picking up a little bit. It's just going in like 1 minute, there's stuff, then there isn't stuff, then there is again. It's just very, there's no way to get your head around it. But as far as what we've been doing, I've been doing some press with some of my sort of existing clients. I work a lot with Cynthia Nixon, and she had press for her TV show, Ratched, which was great. So we were all online doing that. And she has a house in Montauk. So it kind of felt like we were a little bit on vacation, I have to say, because we'd drive out to Montauk, we would stay in a place near her, then we'd all get tested. So we didn't have to wear so much of the PPE. We still were wearing masks, but we were all tested all the time. So it was easier to do that. And then the type of looks we've been doing, we've been pushing it a little bit more because, as you were saying, Jessica, it's head and shoulders. So you feel like you want to do a little bit more. So the shape of the outfit, which you can obviously contest to, but like as far as the hair and the makeup, we're definitely doing sort of slightly stronger looks and varying it as much as we can. So it's interesting for people because it's such a small image, it's like you're just literally that little, so that's what we've been doing a little bit more of. So that's been really fun.
Well, that's a really good dovetail actually into one of my questions.
Can I add?
Yeah, of course, Jessica, go for it.
So for me, because it is head and shoulders and it's a lot of Zoom, and I do Nicole Scherzinger for The Masked Singer, and we went straight to, we get tested 3 times a week. We have our masks. We each have our own room. I got innovative and I called People Magazine, the girl from People Magazine, and I said, can we do like every week, look and talk and interview the hair and makeup and the nail girl so we can all get credit? Because the thought of just no one getting credit was just, it makes me sad. And People Magazine has been very, very open. And now that I'm doing Leah Remini for this new People Magazine Puzzler show, when that goes on, again, I called People Magazine. And now I have Emily Blunt promoting her movie Wild Mountain Time. And I had her publicist call Vogue.com so we can do a diary of her press looks because they're all Zoom. So we are getting a little innovative and a little creative on what we can do press-wise, because I do think that hair and makeup and clothing and these designers need to get credit for everything because it's been dead. And I mean, Jean, how do you feel about our showrooms? They're our friends. And it's broken my heart that a lot of people are on hiatus and not able to represent these lines. And I think that if we as stylists and hair and makeup can give people credit as much as we possibly can, I think that's wonderful.
Look, I'm doing Jamie as well, Jamie Dornan, for the same
Fine.
film. And I totally agree. I'm taking pictures. When I'm doing shoots or when I'm on set or even before I send things, I'm taking images of everything because I think it is important when you do have so many friends and I mean, including people in our industry that are furloughed. We have got to support each other, and you have got to go out there and make it a point of giving everybody as much credit. And to a certain extent, this is where social media comes into play. I mean, I'm getting lots of love for the BTS shots and you know, showing, look, this is how somebody is underneath blowing with a blow dryer or, you know, a lawn blower to make the hair look beautiful. Or, you know, there's somebody in here that's powdering and making this face look beautiful. I think that people forget that we're behind the scenes, but in a weird way, it's even more important. And maybe there is an appreciation for what we do because, you know, it gets really boring having to sit there in your pajamas and not have hair and makeup.
We were, if I can just, we were talking about that before we came on, actually, how like people are getting so fed up, our clients are getting fed up of having to do their hair and makeup themselves. So now they're like, actually, as soon as they get us on, they're like, oh, let's do something really fun. Like, what can we do? And they're really into kind of trying out different looks.
People are wearing suede in the rain just to wear that new outfit, you know?
I feel like that's a new podcast, Wait in the
Yeah.
Rain.
I mean, when I come back in the city, I'm doing full looks, you know, it's like I'm wearing a Cuban heel because it's just like, you know, I want to get dressed again.
So that you guys are just doing.
And also we're all like 10, at least myself, 10 pounds overweight. So we've got to do all the weights and pulleys and tricks that we've all learned behind the scenes.
With the shoulders. I'm like, look up here, look up here.
Yeah.
There you go.
So actually, this brings me to one of the questions I've been dying to ask you guys, which is when the red carpet returns. Now, we don't know how fast, in what capacity, but we saw a little bit with the Emmys. So let's imagine a slow path back to normal. Are you thinking that your clients and you guys as creatives are going to want to go big, bold, fun, fantasy, or because things are kind of like serious and heavy right now, it's going to be a little more reserved, you know, refined and much more statement, whether it's political, social, or even environmental. So Jessica, I know you have thoughts. I'll let you start.
Before COVID, before elections, I've never thought that the red carpet is a place to get political. I do believe that everyone has an opinion. I do believe that people should voice what their beliefs are. I think that your publicist should get you a magazine and go to town and do whatever you need to do. I think a red carpet is for people to be joyful. I think to bring joy, to bring happiness, to see how beautiful the hair, makeup, and styling is. You know, I think that's why people are more interested in what people are wearing and their looks on a red carpet than the actual award show. I think that, and that's what I've been seeing in the past. You know, I would rather see a beautiful lip color that Quinn puts on his clients, opposed to what an actor belief that they have. If I want to know their opinion, I do want to read about it. I will go on their social media and see what their social and political stance is. But I do think that the red carpet is for beauty and for joy, and makes it fun and exciting. And I do think that when the red carpet does open, and we are seeing it we saw it for the Emmys, you know, with the Zendaya show, and how beautiful she changed 2 or 3 times, and it was so fun, and it was so nice and refreshing. So I do think that we're wanting, at least for me, I want to see what my peers are going to do with their clients, because I'm just like waiting to see this, because I'm still excited to see what people are wearing on the red carpet.
Jean, are we going to get some more pink scrunchy moments? What do you think for your clients?
So, you know, I've done a few premieres. I've had a lot of these drive-in premieres where I've dressed people for them. And the thing that I am starting to realize is that I need to always make sure to try and find a cool matching mask, which who knew that was going to be an important part. And look, the way that Elizabeth Stewart did it at Venice was amazing.
Right.
with Tilda. I mean, it's taking us
Did
to
she
a
do
different
Tilda
level.
or did she do Kate?
I think she did Tilda and Kate, maybe. I'm
Really?
not sure.
I know
Because
she.
I swear to God, I feel like I saw her post both of them, but whatever the case, I feel like it's forcing all of us to be a lot more innovative. I mean, Rebecca's having to do a lot more innovative hair. You know, Quinn, I think that when you go out there, you're going to get to do some crazy experimenting, and it's really going to force us in our creative industries to be that much more creative.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Just going to say that that's actually so positive, because I feel like the red carpet was getting kind of bland. Nobody really wanted to take a risk. Everyone was kind of starting to get a little bit apprehensive, and now it's like, yeah, definitely feel like we're going to be pushed, which is why we're even in this business in the first place, right? So that kind of stimulation is I can't wait for that for sure.
So Jean,
I think it's that time. We're seeing it with designers. I mean, we just saw Jeremy Scott do his entire runway show with marionettes.
Oh.
I saw Loewe send a box of beautiful paper dolls, and it's, you know, everybody has to get more. We are creatives. We need to go out there and be creative.
I think that just like, I don't know, like if you look back in history about tough times, people want escapism, you know, like films during, you know, the Depression or during war times are not heavy duty. You know, I know at night, all I want to watch is The Comeback. Like every episode I've seen a million times. So I do think there's going to be a certain amount of, wow, I've been in sweatpants for 3 months.
Great.
Do this. And people want to be snatched. They want to just look their best. They want to try things. And there's a playfulness, right? Like the world is so heavy right now, politically, pandemic, everything is global warming, everything's going on. And so I do think that there is a space for people just to say, fuck it. Like, let's just have fun and, you know, and do, you know, something different and like, you know, celebrate that. And also, I am all for anybody making whatever moment they want. If they want to be political on the red carpet and that's your thing, I'm very political, do it. If you're not, don't. But, you know, I think it all adds to the drama. So I'm all for it.
The storytelling of the carpet. Rebecca, what about you? What do you think?
I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I think that when we go in, we're asked obviously for our professional opinion, but it's a collaboration, right? So, you know, if someone, like going to what Quinn was just saying, if we're with a client and she wants to make a radical statement, then that's great. We'll go with that, you know. But that's one of the things that I have missed more than anything is like all the people that we work with. I mean, they're our friends. You know, we're all so privileged. We have this amazing job that we go to work, we're chatting with our friends, we're coming up with looks. It's all such a great collaboration and we're so social. So, you know, that has been one of the hardest things, I think. So it is just lovely just to hear you guys talking about how you are managing to sort of work within this new normal, and how even though there is a pandemic out there still, of course,
this temporary normal.
Yeah.
What?
Temporary normal.
I never realized how social our industry was because I'm like the kid who could never stop talking in class. And then of course I'm in this job, but I never knew it until this pandemic happened that everyone who I work with is for a social gathering, a celebrity to talk to fans or to do a red carpet or to be in front of people. And so we are hit the hardest because everything we do is to reach out to people. You know, so it's funny. It's like, of course, this is where we ended up. We're all the people who, you know, can't stop talking or being creative or whatever. But I have such a respect for everyone in our industry right now because we are hit the hardest, you know, and when pandemics happen, art stop, all of the things stop. And I do think that when it comes back, it's going to be roaring. I think films are going to be made. I think everybody's got these ideas in their head. I think people can't wait to be around people, you know?
I mean, I think also with what Quinn's saying there too, like a huge part of our job is obviously the skill set and what we can do and our knowledge, but it's also just reading a room. We are so in tune
90%.
with communication skills that all of a sudden you're taken out of that. That was, like he says, that was such a difficult, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clients lost their therapists because you guys know better than anyone. The minute someone gets in your chair or stands in front of you with, you're like, make me look better, but can you also make me feel better?
We have the best conversations during hair and makeup that if people go on the talk shows, it's so boring compared to what we talk about.
It's so true.
It's like, I mean, it's so interesting. I always thought it would be, I mean, none of us would ever be able to work again, but if you could actually tell people it's such an intimate moment.
So I was going to say, Rebecca, you touched on this, so we'll start with you and go around. As an editor, I have to tell you, like, red carpet's my job, covering what all of you guys do. And while we love so many red carpets, and I was joking earlier when we were waiting that going to the grocery store for your celebrity clients is now the red carpet, it does feel like if every moment's a moment, then no moment's a moment. And everything was a red carpet. How were there any dresses left? How was there any lipstick left? How was there any hair to put back in? So what do you think needs to change? What are you hoping on the other end we're going to see not happen or happen?
Quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I started styling about 24 years ago, and award season consisted of the Golden Globes, of like an award show in New York, the SAG Awards, or not even the SAG Awards, and the Golden Globes, and then the Academy Awards. Now once award season starts in December, it's 2 weeks of a Hollywood award, a Gotham award, this award, that award, then we take our Christmas break and then straight to Golden Globes and then an award show, and then Palm Springs, Mill Valley, Pacoima, Orange County Award, New York, Hudson Valley Award. I mean, there's so many award shows. They're like, why is there so many award shows? So I just hope that it's quality over quantity.
Rebecca, what do you think?
Yes, that's what I would absolutely hope for. I don't know if they're going away right now, but anyway, I think there'll still be a lot of award ceremonies, but I think quality of what we do, because I don't really control the rest of it. What I do control is when I get in that room with my client is, we can all have a huge amount of ideas, but then we have to reel it in, bring it back, and work out what's going to be, for me, in the back of my mind is always what's going to make this client look the most beautiful. And obviously I'm hair, so it's like, what's going to make her hair look like it's in the best condition, but also complement the outfit, complement her facial, structure, all those things. But also it's like, it has to be modern. And I think that's one thing from coming from New York. I grew up in fashion. I didn't grow up in celebrity red carpet. I went through the trenches doing the editorial, for years and years. And that's such a great training, because for me, as I say, in the back of my mind is always, is this modern? And I think that's what people are looking for on the red carpet. It's hair that has, for me with the hair, I personally love hair that moves, that has texture, that can be the touchable. So, which can be a little bit difficult because they're leading us and they're getting into a car and they go into the red carpet. So it has to have a certain amount of structure and a certain amount of hold. But I think it should be touchable. It should be modern, and it should be beautiful. And I think with the new way that we're coming into, I think it's just going to be more experimental, but still within those parameters,
Lynn, what about you?
I mean, just to pick up on what you said, no matter how experimental or minimal the makeup is, my only criteria is that the woman looks as beautiful or more beautiful when she's out of my chair.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you're doing a crazy editorial or whatever, she has to keep that beauty. And so I think that I think it's a purging process right now because of the pandemic. I think people are reevaluating what is important, what are they watching, what do they care about, and then there's that social media thing too. But I do agree that it's going to come down to um, people want to look their best. They just want good hair and makeup. They want to look styled really well in something that complements their body and who they are as a person. And that is what we have to hold on to as artists, that will never go out of fashion, is that at the end of the day, no matter, I mean, we all kind of hate trend. I hate, I mean, when people ask about trends, it's like we always go back to, how is my client going to look cool, her best, and, you know,
Effortless.
elevated.
You know, it's interesting during this whole thing. One of the two things that always has really struck out to me is that, as Quinn was saying, everybody is watching streaming shows. So we're realizing actually during this time how important art and creativity is. Everybody is watching all these shows. You know, this is what is important to people. So we're the ones who've been helping to create these fantasies and images. And, you know, there's going to be a huge bottleneck eventually when all these projects come out, because they've held everything. And I think the biggest thing that's going to be, I mean, to me, the most amazing thing will be to see everybody going out and traveling internationally again. I mean, I saw somebody just did a post about a question about this. To be able to get my clients, I mean, I love sitting there and finding an obscure, you know, German designer, or finding something for when they're doing their Berlin premiere, or looking into the weather, and or sending an assistant with a client, and having, I mean, I remember back in those days when I would go and getting to check out the city. Those are things that I think we're now going to get to rediscover again, you know, how important it is, because we've all been so insular right now. I mean, everybody's in their houses, or you're even in your own country. And I think that that has been a real detriment to us. The fact is we are very social people, and we're going to want to see the international stars of other countries. I've been, you know, watching old Korean movies and Korean soap operas, and, you know, checking out some,
right?
yeah, you know, I mean, I feel like I like that people are starting to appreciate how important watching a show is, or appreciating, you know, this art.
I I mean, I think there was a moment in the spring where everyone was like, we have to have an online presence, and everyone was doing tutorials and videos, and then that kind of died a little bit. But I really tried. I mean, as a man, I don't want to do my makeup every day. I don't have a good face for makeup. It's like, I'm not going to show everyone how to do a smoky eye. But I tried to get back to basics, like matching your skin tone, making the most beautiful canvas, going back to things that are universal and that people at home can actually benefit from. And also, in the world that everything is so fast now, I think that before the pandemic, I'm hoping what happens after is that people are more mindful about the fast fashion, you have to change your look every day. You have to do, at a certain point, it's a disconnect from having style. Like, you know, if you're just wearing every trend, or wearing new clothes all the time, it doesn't necessarily, or makeup, show that you have a point of view, right? And I think that more than important is that people now will recycle, reuse, rewear, have a look, a signature cat eye, or something that it's not about just being different for the sake of being different.
Mhm.
That's interesting. I think something else I'd love to ask you guys is the role of social media with the red carpet, particularly behind the scenes. Quinn, I can tell you love social media and you love its role. Go for it.
I could not do my job today without social media. It is amazing, and it actually gives a lot of us, like people were saying earlier, more credit. It's also a double-edged sword, you know. It's like, you know, it's also annoying. You see what's going on every day, and you're like, oh, you know, I'm comparing myself to other people, or seeing what's going on, and everyone seems to have this fabulous life.
Media.
I think that social media is at its best when everybody's being honest and trying to to teach or to share what you know in a very open way. So that's how I kind of approach it, is that I don't want to be stingy with my knowledge or what I do. I want to share it. I want to, you know, people people text me, and I always text them, DM me, and I try to tell them if I can remember what color I used or whatever, and share that. So that part of social media is great. I think that where it's not great is living up to an expectation that's unrealistic.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess to piggyback on my own question and have you guys talk about it, as an editor, I'm always demanding of you to reveal more about the process behind it. What was your inspiration? Can you tell me a fun anecdote about the look? How many carats of diamonds? There's literally no mystery, right? I need to know everything. Does that ruin it for you to have to reveal so much on social media? Do you wish that you weren't pressured to show and share the behind the scenes?
No, that's the fun part.
I was going to say that's even better, makes it
the
even
fun
better.
part, because I love sharing that. And if the only hiccup could be if your client didn't want that
Right.
shared,
Well,
but
that's a whole nother I love to moderate.
no, coming from a place of what inspired you, every client's different. Sometimes you walk into a situation, you think you know what you're doing, and it all changes in 5 minutes because Rebecca says, oh, I'm going to do hair up. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, that changed everything. And that's the fun part of what we do, is that you cannot be too attached to anything. I mean, the accessories change, the outfit. I don't know how many times I've been on a job where the whole wardrobe changes and you're like, okay, well, whatever I thought was going to happen is out of the window, and I just need to refocus and, you know, do what works for the look. And the people who are the most successful at what we do in this world of celebrity are collaborators. Like, I don't come in with an agenda and say, okay, today is about me and the makeup has to be this. I have to be malleable. I have to be able to say, maybe the outfit demands no makeup. You know,
Yeah, or the same thing with the hair
needs
too,
some-
right? Like,
some
yeah,
color.
like
So it's the collaboration that makes a successful red carpet, for sure.
I look at what you guys do, and on top of the work, it's like you now have to be photographers and self-promoters, because without social media, it's hard to get the message out there that you were the one behind it, which is wonderful, like you said, to have a platform to do so. But at the same time, there is a pressure to post all of your work. It's your portfolio now.
But you know what?
For sure.
I see it in a little different way. Like, I like people to see that there is so much behind what's happening in that look. I mean, when and obviously I'm the oldest person in this group right here. There were so many times, every magazine, every photo shoot you ever saw, you didn't realize that was, you just thought that that's what a person looked like. But that's not at all what a person looks like. And I think that there's a certain amount of democracy now, in the sense that you're like, wow, look at what Quinn did to her. Like, look at that skin, it's luminous. And then you look at Rebecca and you're like, she looks like she has like, you know, like a horsetail, her hair is so thick. It's like, I mean, look at that, it's beautiful. Or then you end up seeing Jessica do something so incredibly flattering and you realize, oh my God, her body is slamming. No, it's really, the way that I look at it, it's like, these are real people. We're showing you how you too can be that person. And to a certain extent, that's why you're seeing selfies. That's why you're seeing people get the knowledge that we've shared. I mean, we're kind of, the pandemic has been great in the sense that the camera has been turned around on us, in the sense that we know, like, look, this is what we're doing. We get to see, I mean, Jessica and I, how many pairs of shoes do you see on a given day at a showroom or out throughout the week, all the pieces of jewelry? Of course, we're going to be good at this because we are looking at all this stuff. Quinn is getting makeup sent to him. So when he has the best supplies sent to him, this is what makes him so good, because he's got this knowledge. It's 10,000 hours. And it makes people realize, oh, this is not just per chance. This is truly like somebody who's an expert,
Quinn,
somebody who's
You
like,
got the light on you.
I know. I was like, do I want that or not?
I know exactly. I was going to say you, I mean, but
yeah,
I
but
think
also,
that's what's cool
the-
about social media, right? Is that finally we get to sit there and say, look, you too can be this person.
I
And
think,
like-
yeah,
and like
one thing that was my pet peeve forever was that red carpets are not lit well.
Yes.
Vanity Fair is genius. Best lighting you'll ever see. The people who don't know Vanity Fair Oscar party, they light the red carpet. It's not that hard. They put the lighting in so that it's not a single flash. Like makeup artists often become photographers because we're just frustrated about light. So now that people are doing Zoom and doing things from home, I think there's a heightened awareness about what an important role lighting plays for all of us. Because you can be the best stylist, the best hair, best makeup. If it's not lit, it doesn't matter.
So same, with the social media, because I'm really fascinated by what you guys, how much work goes into not just your clients, but sort of, I hate saying building your brand, but building your brand and really having to put so much of your work and everything you do. So I love hearing that you like sharing the details and the behind the scenes and all the ugly stuff too, because it makes it more real for us. It does take away sometimes a little of the magic, because like you said, it reveals these are real people.
I think, yeah, also for as far as social media for us, we are, we're very privy to a lot of information or someone's very personal private life. So there is a fine line that we have to basically make sure that we don't cross, because yes, it is great. It's amazing to be able to show the process, with going to what Quinn was saying, to be honest and actually show the real process. And also that, like, this is a real person and this is how they look before and this is how they look now. This is what all these things can do. But the other thing too is some of our clients are very comfortable with social media and some of our clients are not comfortable with social media. And that's something that we have to, as artists, we have to, sort of like make sure that we're not crossing a line.
Totally.
And whenever we post a picture of someone, Quinn and I work together a lot, and it's always a case of we take the pictures, then you'll show them to the person that you're working on, which ones you like, they will edit, and you'll kind of have, that'll be a collaboration too, because it's like, I like that one, I like this one. So yeah, we are being honest, but then we also need to show the person in the light that they want to be shown, because this is their exposing them to the world as well, so that's just something that I think is, yeah.
Well, the proof too is that if I put a photo up that's on Getty Images, I'm going to get a fraction of the engagement as a personal photo that I took behind the scenes. That's what people want to see. I think it comes down to people wanting to see honesty. It's like they want
authenticity.
They want to see my workstation messy and the chaos and the hurricane that went on and, everything going on, because that's real and people intrinsically want to identify with that person. So putting up an editorial that you're so proud of. I know, Rebecca, you and all of you probably feel this way. You work on a perfect polished editorial and you get like a fraction of the likes as something that's just a happy snappy and people go crazy for it.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
David Chen said that Chanel spent like $2 million on a show, when they do those runway shows. And of all the pictures that they've ever posted, a selfie that one model posted from a show was their highest engagement. And I think honestly that the whole behind the scenes thing, generally the reason that social media, when it does really well, is like you said, it's when you're being authentic, when you're showing the real deal. And that's why a lot of people that you work with that will go ahead and say, here, it's one thing about privacy, you don't want to do pictures of kids or whatever, but when you show them in like that authentic light, people love that. And I think that that's one of the things that I feel like is the best part of social media.
Because they can relate. They want to relate. We all want part of that fantasy, but we all want to be part of that fantasy.
I don't think the classically prettiest woman is who people are the most interested in necessarily, because I think at some point everyone's following us to say, how can I digest what you're doing and apply it to my life?
I think
right?
all of us watching at home, as a longtime red carpet lover and somebody who made it my profession, we all secretly think that if we had you guys on speed dial, we would look like your client.
And it's true. It's true.
Oh my God.
I can tell you that anybody.
No, definitely.
I can tell you that anybody couldn't look like a celebrity with the right hair, makeup,
and
styling,
styling.
and lighting.
100.
And lighting.
And we're all like,
Lighting, yeah.
I didn't drink as much. Okay.
And now there's all the cosmetic work.
Oh,
I mean,
let's
we can even go there, but that's a whole nother thing.
I'm being told that it's time to close. So really quickly, I want to go around since this is, the future of the red carpet, and this is hard to do, but if you could sum it up, each one of you, in one concise, the future of the red carpet is. You're going to do it? Can you do it?
Well, the future.
Okay, go.
No, go ahead, Jess.
No, you do.
I think the future of the red carpet, somebody just posted something about this. It might be a little bit more before and after realistic sort of representations of what somebody looked like. I mean, Chelsea Peretti in the middle of the pandemic did a post about how she was doing a glow up, and I never seen anything more hilarious. It was her doing makeup without a makeup artist and hair without a makeup, a hairstylist. I think that people will have to be as creative as possible, and you're going to see a little bit more realism, which I'm excited about.
Okay, so the future of the red carpet is going to be
For me. I mean, maybe not for everybody, but I feel like there's going to be more of that.
I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say the future of the red carpet is going to be just as gorgeous, as beautiful as it was before, but it's not going to be as saturated as it usually is. And people like Rebecca, Quinn, my beautiful Jean, we're just going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to work a lot. So I'm going to be very optimistic.
Quinn?
I think there is it's a dichotomy, a paring down, and even more playfulness, more authenticity. I think people are going to own themselves and not look to externals to express who they are as a woman or a man on the red carpet.
Love it. Rebecca?
Okay, so I think at first I'm hoping it's just going to be yeah, it's just going to be an expression of pure happiness and joy that we're out of this situation and we can actually dress up and we can go to a party and we can go and see a fabulous movie and we can go to a premiere. And I think that's what it's going to be at the beginning. And then for the future, I think that somehow we might be experiencing some kind of interactive social media experience through the red carpet, so people can really feel that they are actually there. But that's just another idea for how I think in the future it's going to go.
All right, well, I'm going to close it out and say the future of the red carpet is the talent, and that's you guys. And I can't thank you enough for your time, your insights, your expertise. You are my celebrities. You always have been. And I just love this. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
It was
Bye.
lovely seeing you guys' face.
Good.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.